The F-22 Raptor, the 5th generation fighter, and that's Sergeant John Lugo will tell you all about it in just a few minutes. Development, including the change of an engine, to be known as the Cadillac of the skies. I'm going to be very quiet here as this airplane takes off. I want you to listen to the sound of the Rolls-Royce, that's British, Rolls-Royce built Merlin engine, designed by Rolls-Royce and built in greater numbers by the Packard Motor Car Company here in the United States. This is the P-51 Mustang, as piloted by Vlado Lenoch, and he's going to do some aerobatics for you. I'm hoping he'll be on the roll in just a second. As we wait for Vlado to take off, Sean Tucker coming by. There's that very unique sound. That's the sound. Vlado Lenoch will be in just a moment, but I see Sean D. Tucker getting ready to shut down there. Brian, are you still with it? Are you still with me here on stage, buddy?
Yes, sir. Standing here right next to you, Rob.
What an amazing airplane that you have had the opportunity to fly. I'm sure it's like nothing else.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the propeller comes to a stop right in front of the Team Oracle Chalet, put your hands together for none other than Sean D. Tucker and the Oracle Challenger 3.
Thank you, Brian. Very good. All right, now we heard the takeoff. That's that liquid-cooled V12 engine generating some up to 1,700 horsepower in emergency situations when it had to really get going. And hopefully we'll see Vlado coming back in here in just a moment. We got him off to the left. You can see him high to the left, just glinting up there. The P-51 Mustang, the H model, reached a speed, according to the books that I've read, of 487 miles per hour. That was fast. One of the reasons that Dutch Kindleberger and his crew of designers at North American Aviation could make that bold statement about building an airplane from scratch, designing it and building it in 120 days, is because they had information about a new wing design. That new wing design called laminar flow. Very fast. Let's watch and listen to Vlado Lenoch and the Mustang. The original Mustangs had a different canopy on them, but the one produced in greatest number was the D model, which incorporated this bubble canopy that we see on this Mustang. Vlado comes over the top. He'll point the nose back down 45 degrees, throw the stick over to the left and complete that maneuver, the 1/2 Cuban 8 maneuver. The original Mustang was outfitted with an Allison V12 engine, the same type that was in the Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, also the Lockheed P-38 Lightning and other aircraft. But the Mustang, as it was first built for the Royal Air Force, didn't have enough high altitude performance. So the Royal Air Force decided to put one of their Merlin engines, the Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, on this aircraft, changed the shape of the cowling a little bit, strengthened the engine mounts. The Rolls-Royce Merlin engine was the type being used in the Supermarine Spitfires and the Hawker Hurricanes, the two frontline fighters for the Royal Air Force during World War II. It was also in the Lancaster bomber. But with that better turbo supercharger on the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the Mustang as we know it today was born. And it got that name, the Cadillac of the sky. It's such a unique sound compared to the radial engine sound that we've heard on the Geico Skytyper's SNJ aircraft, and even on the Nanchang CJ6 that we heard earlier when Bill Pirate Mills was flying it. It was, in fact, one of the frontline fighters of its day. Equipped with 4 50 caliber machine guns. It was the same type of aircraft flown by the Tuskegee Airmen. The stripes that you see painted on the aircraft are known as invasion stripes. And those were painted on all Allied aircraft in preparation for the D-Day invasion of Normandy by the Allies on June 6, 1944. Those stripes were there so that Allied ground gunners would not, or other aircraft would not inadvertently shoot down one of our own aircraft. They were painted on the cargo aircraft as well as the fighters. With about 160 of these aircraft still flying today, it represents just 1%, just about 1% of the original production run of the Mustang. Coming down on the deck at over 200 miles per hour, the nose will come up. Now let's watch Vlado Lenoch put it into a 4-point hesitation roll, stopping the aircraft each 90 degrees of rotation. If you look carefully underneath, you will see the radiator scoop. This was in fact a liquid-cooled engine and required coolant just like our automobile engines do. The original design had a different position and a different design of that radiator scoop, and it was thought that it would cause a lot of drag and slow the aircraft down. However, after fixing the original design that created turbulence around the aircraft, they put a space or a gutter between the bottom of the fuselage and the top of the radiator scoop to reduce the turbulence around the air going into the radiator, thus increasing performance there, and then the hot air escaping out the back of the radiator area actually gave this airplane a few pounds of jet thrust. And that increased the speed of the airplane. It didn't slow it down, it increased it. And they called that jet thrust Meredith effect. So awesome to hear everybody listening so carefully to this engine sound. How do you like the Mustang and Vlado Lenoch, everybody? It looks to me like Vlado might be climbing up and out of the way, and we're going to be turning things over in just a moment to Master Sergeant John Lugo to tell you all about the United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor demonstration.